Reality. Reality receipts.
Froze. Hi guys, welcome back to the Reality Receipts podcast starring me, Storytime with Ricky.
And me, Reality Ashley, and we're back to talk about Love is Blind Season 9, episodes 5 and 6, which got real crazy. It still feels like a prank, but an entertaining prank for sure.
Very entertaining. There's no love, but there's drama and mess, so I'm here for it.
Before we get into that, did you stay up till midnight to listen to Taylor Swift's new album? I know you're a big fan. So.
I didn't even know it was coming out, Ashley. To be honest.
I'm a big Swiftie, but I'm a folklore Evermore Swiftie, and this is more like a pop album, so it's not my jam. I love her. I went to the Eras tour, spent way too much on it, but yeah, it was just probably not going to be your jam unless you like the lighthearted sort of silly lyric type thing, but I'm more into her slow, depressing stuff. So,
oh, okay.
But yes, I knew you'd want to know it came out.
So. In her life, so I'm assuming she's in a really happy space. But
she is, yes. She the songs, because like Sabrina Carpenter really likes a dirty, sexy song. That's her thing.
Not
you don't know who that is. Okay.
No, I know who she is, but I'm not a fan of her music. I couldn't name one song, maybe one that's like TikTok viral.
Espresso, you probably know that one.
Mm-hmm,
yeah, I'm not a fan of like the newer ones. I can't remember what it's called, like Tears or something. But yeah, they're very sexual songs, just like episode 4 of Love is Blind. So
yes,
just like that. Taylor's getting in on that genre a little bit. Okay. So there's a whole song dedicated to Travis and his large tools.
Way.
Oh yeah, it's called Wood.
Oh my! Oh, you didn't even hide it in the title.
Oh, and she also has another song. I can't remember what the song called, Father Figure, and she says something like, "I make deals with the devil because my dick's bigger than yours." Like she's a whole new Taylor. So.
Not a whole song about your husband's ween, though. Do you really?
Oh yeah. She says in the song. She says he dickmatized her, so she's like, yeah, she's getting real spicy. So, which they're catchy songs, but again, I'm just more of I like the slow, pandemic era of Taylor. So this isn't
Taylor.
my style, but yeah, she's really letting us all know she's very happy and having a great time at home. So good for her. I wouldn't. Yeah. Doesn't surprise me. He's a big guy. So.
Well, sometimes big guys have,
True. It's deceiving. Our word of the week. We need to start a word of the week.
Word of the week.
This week's word is chode. And then what's the definition? Wider than it is long or something. We learned a lot.
It was like short and stubby, but wide. Or
we're learning a lot from this season of Love is Blind. Everyone's getting like sexy. Love is Blind, Taylor, the whole world is in heat, I guess. So anyways, enough Taylor talk. We'll get into episode 5.
Let's get into episode 5. But you have a slight receipt report.
Oh, yes.
Well, the receipt report is basically like, we're going to get to Madison and Joe, but there was a lot of speculation online that Joe was on something else other than alcohol, because he said, "Oh, let me get the sugar off your nose." And people thought it was like an inside joke of like that booga sugar is what people call it. And she got some exclusive tea that.
Yes. We talked to somebody close to production, we'll just say, that like they check all of their bags. They were on a private resort. There's not like drug dealers hanging around, so it would be very hard for someone to get that kind of drugs in there, because everything is searched, obviously, because they have to care about people's safety there, and they didn't have random people just on the resort. They were in a private area. So also, I just feel like when you're on drugs, you don't really need to leave a party and go for a nap. When you're on drugs, from what I've seen people do, like they are the life of the party and they stay later than everybody else, right? So I kind of felt like he was just hammered, like completely hammered, sunshine, so much alcohol, not a great life decision. You're on camera, you're with your new fiance. Definitely all Joe's fault, but I just didn't know where people got the whole he seemed on drugs, because he seemed like we've all seen.
Doesn't booga sugar keep you up?
It keeps you up, right? and yeah, more coherent. Like usually, I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen people doing drugs, but usually they're like very chatty, and he seemed like a just very drunk person. But then again, I suppose there's like other forms of drugs like pills or other things, but I just know when people said they saw the salt comment, they're
Yeah.
obviously referring to a specific kind of drug.
Yeah,
And
they were. People were putting like snow emojis in
yeah,
all in my videos. So yeah, I think people assumed he was on the Booga Sugar. But I
yeah,
mean,
to me it just looked like a blacked out. Like I don't know. I've had friends where, you know, they wake up and like you see them like pee in a closet or something, like you're out of it. And that it just seemed like a drunk thing to me. He didn't know where he was, he didn't know who Madison was, he didn't know where they had been, he didn't know what time it was. That just seemed very like a hammered, blacked out, drunk person to me
yeah,
at least. So I
yeah,
don't know
same,
why people are,
same.
you know, Shane obviously had a lot of the drug accusations because of his hyper behavior and yeah, so I don't think we can say that guy was on drugs and then this guy who could barely get out of bed is on drugs, like, that the behaviors aren't the same, so
Mhm. Right. And we're no experts on
allegedly.
cocaine
No.
use, right? Like,
Clearly, we're just
I
guessing
just
here.
know what I see in movies, and I'm like, I don't think they go to sleep. But we'll get to
No.
Madison and Joe because
Yeah.
that was like at the end of episode 6. But it's, I
Mhm.
will say that this season, I'm not seeing a lot of love, and I do think it is a dumpster fire of mess. But I am entertained. I
Yeah, the
yes.
cast is giving. At first, I was like, they do seem a little contrived and fake and just anything to get to the engagement, right? Because we do feel like a lot of these couples aren't that genuine. But on the other hand, the way that they're behaving and some of the things they're saying and like getting totally blackout drunk at a cast event is giving authentic, right? So like they're not
Right.
really hiding their true selves at some
They're
point.
authentic in who they are as people. They're disingenuous and inauthentic in like actually
Hmm.
wanting to get married and actually wanting to
Be
uh
with that
be
person.
with the
That,
person or the premise of the show. I think that they're all going into this like, oh my God, this is our like Jersey Shore moment. This is our, you know,
yeah.
like and
Yeah. Like
that
act as crazy as possible.
yeah, like, I think that they think they are they're on a reality TV show, but I don't know that they know what reality TV show they're on because they're giving us Jersey Shore, they're giving us The Real World, like, they're giving us,
Yeah.
Vanderpump, like, no, you guys are on Love is Blind, you're here for your couple, for
Yeah.
marriage,
Hmm.
that's what you're here for, but, hey, I'll
There
take
was a couple other things actually I saw online. I saw there was I think it was like City of Denver podcast or something, and they said 22 out of the 32 people are not actually from Denver. A lot of them have already moved out of state. So I don't know if people now at this point are if they hear they're casting in a city, they apply and just say like I live there and then they like move there for the show. So
Mm.
but I also maybe are just there for work or there temporarily for other reasons, and it just works out that way. But yeah, a lot of people in Denver not happy about this representation. They're like, these are not us. They're not from here. So that's a little tea, I guess.
That's
And
tea.
then Nick also posted a video saying the conversation he had with Annie about, if his children were gay was chopped and screwed, and that wasn't really how it came out. And they edited it and blamed production a little bit, but also took accountability, I guess, and said, I don't know. He kind of tried to explain like those were the values he was raised on as a Christian person, but he's
Mm.
trying not to feel that way anymore.
We know you don't feel that
So
way, Nick. We know you are in full support of the LGBTQ community. Don't worry, we know. Don't worry. We know that you support.
people get mad if we speculate.
I'm not
He did
speculating. I'm not speculating. I'm just saying we know that he is okay
I
with
will
that.
say he brought the speculation conversation to the camera saying his mother speculated on him. So we have to be able to talk about that, right? So
Yeah.
his family has speculated, which is what brought up the conversation. So yeah, basically he said editing, but I'll take some accountability too. So I don't know how it was edited because it seems like the sentences came out of his mouth. So I think they were
Yeah.
he said they were trying to talk about what's put on like TV and stuff and being shown to children that he doesn't agree with, where I don't know. I feel like we've all kind of that seems like an argument from the 80s. It's like video games too, right? Like that makes kids do this or that. I think watching something or seeing something on TV isn't gonna change who you are as a person, right? So it's
Oh,
kind of
but
a
then
silly argument,
he
but
was making those comments. I totally forgot about that, that he was making those comments, like, "Sometimes don't you feel it like it's just a fad or it's just, like, almost like it's not real, like they're just doing it
mhm.
because it's a trend," I think is the word
Yes.
he used. I've totally forgot about that. So, like, that's the thing is, like, so many things happened with him. Like,
Mhm,
he was involved in so much mess, it's hard to pinpoint all the crazy stuff he said. He's just all over the place, you know? And it's like,
yeah,
when he honestly, when he was talking about LGBTQ, I'm like, to me, I'm like, you're in full support of the community and you're just blabbing to try and
mhm,
get people to think that, that speculation that your family has is like way out the window. Like, that was
mhm.
my take on it. I was like,
Yes, I'm not sure how, like, the fad and trend conversation was edited, like, was he
yeah,
talking about something else? Because in that case, that's terrible that they would do that, but I don't know that they would fake a conversation to that level because that's the topic they were on, so I don't know. He didn't really go into detail, like, "This is what I actually said," or "This is what I meant." He just kind of blamed the editing, but also said he would take accountability. So he did say something, but anyways,
yeah,
that's the social media updates so far. Not too
yeah.
much mess being posted yet, but the reunion after seeing episode 6, I'm like, this reunion is going to be good. Some of these people that have to see each other again is going to be interesting, but we'll get there. So
Yeah. Wait, Ashley, is that your Fits Everybody triangle bralette from Skims?
it is. You know how I'm always raving about Skims to you. It is one of my favorite brands. I love their bodysuits. I love their pajamas. But I finally tried out the Fits Everybody collection, the bras and the underwear, literally like butter against my skin. I can't even tell that I'm wearing them. And I have not been able to take them off since I got them. Absolutely amazing.
Girl, I got it
You
too!
did. I love
Ashley,
it.
like, raves about Skims, and I think I'm, like, the last person on the planet Earth that's actually tried Skims, so I was like, "You know what? Let me see what all the fuss is about, let me see what all the hype is about." I tried the Fits Everybody thong, butter.
So
Feels
good.
like I'm going commando. Like, so soft. And then I tried the Fits Everybody triangle bralette as well. I got like
So good.
3 of them. They're all in the laundry because I wear them all the time. I need more. I need to like add some to my cart because I don't want to take them off. They are so comfortable. They're unlike anything I've ever felt before. I know I've heard people say that in the past, but you don't believe it until you try it for yourself. 10 out of 10. You influenced me.
Yay! Well, I'm glad that you're feeling just as comfortable as me. They really are not like any other bra or underwear I have tried before. They blow everything else out of the water. We want you guys to try it for yourself. So, to grab yourself some of the Fits Everybody collection, shop Skims Fits Everybody collection at skims.com. After you place your order, be sure to let them know that we sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select our show, Reality Receipts, in the drop down menu that follows so that everybody knows you got this great advice from us and you will not regret it. You'll be thanking us, we promise you.
And so will your booty.
Start of episode 5 was Annie and Brendan's breakup, which I thought we already saw, but apparently he wasn't done yet. So he came back to get fully broken up with.
Begging.
Yeah. Yeah.
Begging. They've been
Which,
begging this season. I don't ever think I've seen a season where the men beg so much. Like, and again,
no.
they're so desperate to get to that next phase of the experiment because you're not here for
Mhm.
love, you're here for the camera time. And so if you have to beg a little bit, which I do think that if Brendan would have applied a little bit more pressure, Annie was ready to
Yeah.
teeter-totter either which way. So I feel like if he would have applied a little bit more gas, a little bit more pressure, he would have got her to flip because
Mhm.
she was unsure.
I think that explains a lot about this cast because we're all like, this cast is bizarre and like acting out and seemingly wanting camera time, right? So if a lot of these people, their goal is to be not an actor necessarily, but getting into TV, like we saw Casey said she had applied or like been approached by other shows, that makes sense. They're all treating it as like a big moment, and that's why we're seeing so much ridiculousness because this is their goal. They wanted to be on TV, so they're not there for marriage. So that's probably I don't know what Brendan's background is or what his job is or if he was intending to get into TV, but yeah, he seemed desperate to get on that trip, which he didn't seem to like Annie, so it didn't make a lot of sense to me. So, because they
Yeah,
were like fighting and bickering, and
it didn't
she
make
said,
any sense to me.
mhm. Yeah, he didn't give her enough validation, but I felt like he was pretty validating, so
I mean, I think he was validating at the end, but I think
yeah.
before that, like, their conversations were very surface level. He didn't really I don't think he thought that she had another option, and to me, she was the one nitpicking at him, like, everything he
Mhm.
said, it was like, "What? Huh? What?"
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Oh my god, they
Like, "You
don't
don't
even
know my car?"
yeah, like, they don't get along. And
Mhm.
it was like, "We can go anywhere. Like, I don't care. Like, do you feel like this would be the perfect marriage?" Like, "Yeah." Like, and it's like, this is just that's no depth, no substance. And I think he didn't know she had another connection, and if he did,
No?
maybe he would have like, I think once he found out
Mhm.
she had another connection, that's when he was like, "Okay, like, I have to reel this back in," and I think he
Yeah.
could have done it, like, 'cause it was so annoying that she I just find it comical that she's sitting there like, "Thank you for choosing me, Nick, like, thank you," and, like, when she finds out that he was saying the same thing to everybody, like, I cannot wait to see your face because she's sitting here telling
Mhm.
Brendan, "You're not fighting for me," and he's literally in that pod fighting for you, like, that's what he's
Yeah.
doing, or fighting for his spot is what he's fighting for, really, but
And he was so mad when he went back to that men's lounge or sad or whatever, he was pouting and crying at the table, like, devastated, so
devastated, and Nick walks
yeah.
in like, "We're getting engaged, we're getting engaged."
That was so funny.
And
Do
he's
you
like
think he really didn't know he was sitting there? Or was he like,
I
"Whatever"?
mean, I think Nick is a character all in his own, so I'm pretty sure he's giving us cinema, okay, right? He's
Yeah.
giving us drama, honey, so I know he saw his ass sitting there, like, Nick is just so like, "I cannot do this
Sassy.
anymore. I can't. I must go now." Like, bro, shut the
Oh, man. And then
like, he's so animated, like, he's so animated, so
mhm. Then we saw Megan and Mike have a little chat, and it didn't go very well. He was, like, not threatening, but he was like, "I'll walk out," or something, and she he was, like, telling her it's fine 'cause of they're talking about her other connection with Jordan, and then he was like, "Get some sleep." He was just being a little weird, but
he's very
I think she was do you think if he would have said, like, "I love you, I wanna propose to you," in that conversation, she would have picked him?
yeah.
'Cause I think that's what she was waiting for. Cause she kept being like, "I need more time. I'm not ready to make a decision," but he also wasn't telling her, like, "You're it for me. You're my choice." So
Yeah. I think a lot of the girls were very finicky in their decisions, and I feel
mhm,
like it could have went either way. I do think, like, Mike was trying to like, "Oh, I told everybody I'm in love with you." Like, I I just think she could feel his fakeness, like,
yeah,
there's something in the pit of your stomach that's telling you, like, "No, this isn't right," and
mhm,
he's like, I'm almost there. I'm almost there." Like, and it's just like and then you're like, "I'm gonna walk out," or, no, I'm not gonna leave, but I'm gonna leave early." I don't know if he thought he was playing a mind game, and it's like, "Oh, if I leave, it's gonna keep her longing and wanting her."
mhm,
But it backfired on his ass, but, I'm glad she didn't pick him. Obviously, everything that we know about him, he's really a
yeah.
disingenuous guy. Um
Well, knowing, like, if it is true, it's obviously alleged, but if he did have a girlfriend while filming this, all of his behavior makes sense, right? Like, getting Megan to fall for him, but then not giving her the reassurance to the point where she would pick him, and then when she was dumping him, he was very sad, but he wasn't necessarily trying to change her mind, right? And that's why she was getting more upset because she's like, "He handled it so well, makes me think I didn't make the right choice." But he wasn't begging like Brendan over there because he knew, like, I don't actually want to get engaged. I'm not going to propose to anyone. So he was happy that the outcome was gonna be her not picking him. And he
Right,
gets to look sad, he gets to look dumped and like everyone say, "Oh, Megan made the wrong choice." Like he knew that was the ideal position for him. So if he did have that girlfriend while filming, it makes sense. Kind of like with Trevor, right? We saw the exact same thing. Chelsea picked someone else. Everybody was like, justice for Trevor, poor Trevor, he didn't get picked, but he wasn't even single, so
yeah, it's always a risk though, you know what I mean? I always think, like, if that's your strategy going in, that I just wanna make it up to the engagement and then I don't wanna propose, it's a risk because
Mhm,
there's no guarantee that Netflix is going to show your story. Do you know how many
mhm,
people get engaged, we don't see their story,
mhm,
or we don't even See, there's a big possibility that they could have showed Megan's story with Blake and with Jordan and completely cut the connection with Mike out, and we would have
Mhm,
never known about that connection. So it's
mhm.
always a risk.
They
I
do seem to
definitely
like
think that because he cried when she ended it, that I think he thought that that was gonna make people think that he's just this amazing guy, but to me, he came off as a douchebag.
mhm. Yeah, they do seem to like that storyline, 'cause we do see it, like, every season lately where it's, like, a girl is in a triangle between 2 men, then the man that she doesn't pick, they make him look so good, and I don't know what they like about that storyline, but I feel like we saw it with, like, last season, Madison, Mason, and Alex, like, they really tried to make Madison the villain and Mason and Alex the poor guys, and I don't know, I feel like they just tried to do that again here, but
Yeah, but I think Mike is he's, like, so unserious. It's, like, almost every time that she didn't pick him or was leaning, it was like, oh, like, like, "I wanna win, but again, not too much, like, I just wanna
yeah.
make myself look good," because he's just not, like, he's a swindler in more ways
Yeah.
than so
Well, then Megan goes in with Jordan and accidentally says, I love you, which seals the deal, and she picks Jordan. But do you think if she didn't say, I love you, she would have gone back to Mike or no?
I think
Because she,
it's like what you said, like, she was waiting for Mike to say it, and I think that if
yeah.
Mike would have said it in that moment, she may have picked Mike,
Hmm.
but I think Mike was also a hater, like, I think that he was really hating on Jordan, and he was really, like, being a little bitch, like, we didn't see any of the other guys talking or bad-mouthing each other, but we did see Mike
Hmm.
subtly to the point where Megan was thinking, "Oh, maybe I'm not gonna like what he looks like because, Mike has made all of these comments about him." And then you
Yeah.
see him going and shaking Jordan's hand, and to me, it's just so fake, and I can't believe,
Yeah.
like, more people aren't talking about, what a bitch move that was, because
Yeah.
and then it's like Jordan didn't say anything bad about him. I don't think we've seen any of the men bad mouth.
No,
We've seen
Jordan.
that on other seasons, like with the women. Like the women will go bad mouth the partner,
Yeah.
but we've never seen it with the men. And
No, and the
he
women,
like tattoos. Do you like? Oh, I'm just trying to see what you like. I feel like I know what you like, and like I don't mean to badmouth somebody else, but like yeah, you're making a mistake. Like
yeah, and when the women do that, they usually get roasted, called mean girls. Like we've seen that happen, but people aren't really faulting Mike for it, which is a little strange. But we saw in this episode that Jordan didn't even know Megan had another connection. Like he was shocked by that.
yeah,
So he was just in his own world, like happy with Megan, not realizing all this drama was going on, like that he was bothering Mike so much, which is kind of funny. And then
yeah.
he ended up winning and Megan picked him. And then, well, before they get proposed, we see Annie and Nick, he proposes. What do you think of that proposal? No thoughts.
I think Nick is full of shit. I think of all of the guys, Nick is the worst one because
Mhm.
the way that he said the exact same thing to Annie that he had said to Kate, like, "Oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna drop the L-bomb." I'm like, "What the fuck is happening?" And she's just like, "I love you too. I love you too." Like, she just wants to be picked and she just wants to
Mhm.
be loved, and since he's said, "I love you," she hasn't stopped saying it, like, she says it so much, and to me, it's like when you keep saying it, like, over and over and over, it's like, what are
Mhm.
you trying to, like, overcompensate for?" But, like, I just Nick is so full of shit, he's not genuine, he's not there for the right reasons, like, he just wanted to secure his next phase of the experiment.
Yeah. Do you think they'll make it to the altar, him and Annie?
Alter? Maybe, I don't know if I seen them in the previews. I feel like they're not getting married, that's for sure.
Then we see Casey and Patrick's meeting like this. So awkward. Although, honestly, she's a good actress because I wasn't feeling
She
that
needs
awkward in their reveal. It was later, the
she
awkwardness.
needs an O she needs an Oscar.
Yeah, like I was
Later
shocked. I was,
even later, I was like, "Oh, no, oh, no, she just like, no." Like, I didn't know what the fuck was happening. I heard her tell the camera what was happening. So, in their reveal, it didn't throw me I thought in the reveal, I was like, "Okay, like, she seems attracted to him." And it
Yeah.
wasn't until he looked back again, it's all about how, like, that moment where are you guys, like, longing and keep looking at each other. In that moment where he looked back and she was out, like, she was already
Yeah.
behind the curtain, where I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, okay."
Mhm.
But she did a really good job in person. She was kissing him, she was
Mhm.
hugging him, she wouldn't let go of him. She seemed very attracted to him.
Yeah, I feel like this could have been such a good story, because she talked so much about how looks were the only thing she cared about and how badly she'd been treated and how that didn't go well for her. We've seen in a couple of the other countries' versions when the woman first sees the man, she's not attracted to him. She's like, this isn't my usual type. But then over the 4 weeks, she really does fall in love and they get married and they realize like these hot guys that treat me like trash are not the way to go. And not that Patrick's not attractive, but just not her usual type. So
Yeah,
it would have been cool to see her at least try throughout the couple of weeks. Obviously, we'll
yeah.
get there, but they don't make it after the reveal. So
They don't make
I was
it.
shocked though.
What do you make of Casey? Like, I don't know. What do you make of Patrick? Because I also feel like Patrick's very insecure with his
Yeah,
ethnicity.
I
And
know. And
I feel
I
like if he was a little bit more confident, that would kind of shine through. But you can tell he's not confident about it at all. He's actually ashamed of it, which is really sad to see.
Yeah, it's hard because, like, he said why he's insecure about it, and then exactly what he said ends up happening, right? And so it's hard because he told it's not like Casey was surprised. Like, he let her know he's Asian, and I wish if I know, like, she wanted to see if she could get over not being attracted to someone, but it's kind of mean to like test that experiment on a person, right? Because she didn't even try really. She just was like, that's not my usual type, and I'm assuming they didn't probably see each other again after that, and that's gotta be hard for him, knowing he went into this experiment insecure about his race because he feels like he's not attractive to people, and then this is what happened. So, I just wish he would've picked someone else. I think in the pods, I didn't see a good connection, and I don't know why they agreed to get engaged. It's not like they had this amazing, loving personalities clicked and then they could get over the looks. I don't think they were even in a
Yeah, I
position
think
to do
honestly,
that.
I think when Anna left, like, Patrick changed a lot. I think that
Mhm,
Anna was his person and his one that he was gonna pick. And when that didn't go according to plan, he tried to pivot to something else and
mhm,
act like, "Oh, well, I have this great, amazing connection with Casey," but he didn't. He didn't one, he didn't have a connection with her, and then he found out that you have this ex-boyfriend that you're basically still in contact with. I think that rubbed him the wrong way, and I think that what reeled him back in was all the sex talk. Like, you're talking about how
mhm.
you wanna F him and you wanna climb on top of him and you're gonna do this, this, and that. And I think she used that to reel him back in. And wasn't it her that said something along the lines of like, I want to do the lingerie and this and that like
Yeah,
someone deserves, so she reeled him back in with sex talk. And again,
mhm,
I think I don't even think hers was about being on TV and being part of the experiment. I think hers was trying to prove something to this ex of hers. Hers
yeah,
was all about showing this ex of hers that, like, I'm engaged and I have someone else, and look at me, I'm about to move on, so you better
mhm.
come get me if you want me.
Yeah, I agree. I think that she wanted to do the show just to make this ex jealous, and then, she saw Patrick wasn't attracted to him and was like, "I'm not gonna be able to fake it for these few weeks of a show," and yeah, I don't understand how they ended up getting engaged, unless, yeah, they wanted to be on TV. That's all that makes sense. Even for Patrick, because when he was like, "Oh, you guys can still take me to Baja," I'm like, "That's a little weird," but like they all want this damn trip, which I see why. They had a great time on the ship. They were all letting loose,
Yeah,
but
and
it's
their
like
bill
that's
was
not what we're here for.
$4.
Like, go to Mexico with your friends. This is not what we're doing here. Like, I'm shocked that they let that loose, but we'll get there. So, yeah. So when Mike was crying to Nick in the lounge, and Nick said, "Oh, she's gonna need her EpiPen." Another throwback, which I'm trying to figure out when this season was filmed. It was a year and a half ago. I'm almost positive. So that would have put it to, like, last April. When did season 6 come out? It was definitely a spring season. Was that
Girl,
spring
once it's
6,
over, I forget
7,
all things
8, 9?
involved with it. Yeah.
I'm almost positive that this season was filming as season 6 was airing, because they do that a lot. There's always one filming as it's airing. So sometimes they're literally, like, going home and watching it as they're filming it, which is so weird. So the way they're talking, though, on this one, it seems as though season 6 literally must have just aired, because they know all the
Yeah.
lines, they know
They
all the
got all the
people.
lines, they got yeah, they're fans, and it's just it was so weird, Nick. You're the most eligible bachelor here. She's gonna need her EpiPen. Like,
Yeah, it is very odd to
Nick, why don't you just
quote.
propose?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about how much the men are loving each other, like, Jordan and Joe as well at the party, but we'll
Obsessed with each
get
other.
there. So, yeah.
Obsessed with each other.
What did you think of so Jordan proposes to Megan. I don't know. Nothing, it was cute proposal. I
Yeah.
wasn't so sure about them, but seeing them on the trip, I'm like, they might
They're
have.
one of the cuter couples, to be honest. I
Mhm,
think all we have at this point is Allie and Anton and Megan and Jordan that have a singular chance in hell, even though I don't think even they
mhm.
have a single chance in hell. But yeah, I think he was the better choice than Mike for sure.
Do you think they seem very attracted to each other? Do you think Jordan is attracted to Megan
Yeah,
and vice versa?
yeah.
Yeah, because we have seen Jordan's baby mama, and I
Mm,
was like, if that I don't know if she was his type though, but she's definitely different than Megan. She's more of like the Instagram baddie, as you call it. She's got the lip filler and all the things going on, and Megan's a little more natural, you know?
yeah.
So maybe that, because Jordan has said a few times, like, "I don't want what I've had in the past. It didn't like, wasn't my type." So I think Megan is more like his
Wh-
type.
what do you think of Jordan's little references? Like, he said something like, "I've been promoted to the big leagues with Megan." He makes
He's
little
a
comments
little
like that.
he's a little corny. He said something during their reveal too where I was like, "Ooh, I would have a
Something
hard time
about,
staying."
I don't know, it's always in reference to, like, her money or, like, her finances that I'm like, "Is Jordan a gold digger?"
I definitely don't think it hurts at all. Like, I think he's not as financially sound as Megan. So I did see someone in our comments say, like, we're not being hard enough on Megan for wanting, like, caring about what the men's careers were or something. And I'm like, I think that's totally fine to judge a partner based on their career, their education, their intelligence level. The whole point of this experiment is not looks, right? The other things, I think that's okay to have preferences or like want a person that's successful. Like, since when did that become a gold digger if you're successful yourself? Like, Megan is
Yeah.
successful, so why shouldn't she? I don't know. I guess.
Everybody has, like the thing is that I notice that people get triggered about your opinion on something when maybe they've lived that experience, right?
Yeah.
Like, so if you're a successful person and you want somebody that's equally yoked to you, there's literally nothing wrong with that. Most women
Mhm.
date up, if you got some standards. You know what I mean? Most
Yeah.
women date up, but some women date down. Some like look at Kris
Yeah.
Jenner. She's with Corey Gamble. She has so much money that she doesn't need to worry about what her man has or what she just
Yeah.
wants somebody that makes her happy. So if that's what you want, that's what you want. But if you're like Megan, where you want somebody that's more on your level financially, that's okay too.
Yeah, like, I think when people hear a man say that has a lot of money, say, "I wanna date a woman who has a lot of money too and is successful in her business and all of that," they'd be like, "That's amazing, good for him," not just going for, like, the hot young girl using him for money, right?
They
So
would
it should be
say
the same
something either
reverse.
way, right? Like, they would say
Yeah.
something like, if you say, "Oh, I don't care what she makes as long as she's good looking and keeps my house clean," like, people would be like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, but so it's like you can't win either way, but I didn't think there was anything wrong with Megan wanting somebody that's, like, on her financial level.
Yeah, because then also you would be worried that they don't really like you for you, right? Anytime that you have a lot of money, that's something that you have to be concerned of, which is why I think very rich older men just date hot young girls. They know they don't like them for anything but the money and whatever. They're both getting a transaction out of it, right? So
Yeah.
for a woman that's very financially successful, it would be hard to meet someone that isn't successful and know, do they like me even if I didn't have this money and could take
Yeah.
care of us, right? So, yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
don't think
she
there's anything
said
wrong with
she's
that.
dated both ends of the spectrum. She says she dated a billionaire who was always working, and he just gave her gifts. "Give me his phone
Mhm.
number." No, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
And then
Ricky's fine with that.
she said she dated a brokey that where all the passion and all the chemistry was there, but he just wasn't ready to take the next steps. And she wants
Mhm,
somebody right in the middle, which it seems
mhm,
like Jordan has a job to where he'll be able to pull his weight. But
mhm,
obviously, we see in the next previews, they're going to look in here. There's the problem, right? Now we're going
mhm.
to go look at houses. The house is $2 million. And she's like, oh, sounds good to me. And he's like, this is way too much house. And I probably can't afford this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So there comes in the problem of like, okay, now here we are. Unless
Mhm.
Megan's willing to just buy the whole house. But we'll have to see what happens. But um,
Yeah. It's
yeah,
hard
I
when you
don't
have
think
a
anything wrong.
child too, because he has to I don't know what their
What
custody
did you
agreement
think
is.
about that as a mom? Because the one thing I noticed is that Megan kept saying, I can't wait to step in as Luca's mom, not
Yeah.
stepmom, but mom. And I thought, we know that Jordan has a good relationship with his BM. I thought, Big Mama's not going to be happy to hear this. Like,
No.
I know people are very sensitive when it comes to their children, but like, you're not going to
Yeah.
be his mom, actually.
No.
Like, you
Well,
know
and
what I mean?
Jordan kept saying, "We need you." Like, "We need you to step in and fill this role." So, I don't know. I don't think like, for myself, like, say I wasn't with my husband, it would be nice. Like, I love those stories where they have, like, such a good relationship, co-parenting, and, like, the mom and the stepmom are, like, best friends. I think that's good
Yeah.
because having a woman around like, not to stereotype, but, women are just better with, like, details and, the nurturing and all that. So, even though if you can get past your own personal feelings and be just happy that that presence is there, would be good. But,
Yeah.
yeah, she should maybe say more of, like, "He has a mom, but I'm
I'd love
stepping
to.
in as
Yes,
your partner." Yeah.
yes, as your partner, an additional, support system for him or stepmom, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, she kept saying
I
mom.
wonder I wonder if they will get to meet on like, we just saw this on France, obviously, they weren't gonna have them meet before the altar, they ended up saying no. So, do you think is Megan gonna meet his child? Maybe it won't be on camera. If
I
they
think
don't
she'll meet
meet, that's
him.
not a good sign.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she'll meet him. I think she'll meet him, but not before. I don't know, 'cause
I
it's
wonder
just
if she'll
if
meet
you're
the
planning
baby
on
mom as well.
saying no, if you're planning on saying no, then what's the point of meeting
Mhm.
my kid?
I guess if you introduce them not as, like, your partner, just as, like, a friend, right? Like,
Right, I think maybe
so they're
Luke is
not, like,
the
in your
age
life.
where, he's the age where you could be like, "This is my friend," and they won't think too much into it.
Yeah.
When you have, like, an older kid, they'd be like,
Yeah. We know what you
"Mm,
do with your friends.
my ass," you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if I don't know how involved like, we obviously know they have a good relationship, but I wonder if she would be on the show too, so that'll be interesting to see because we haven't really had that. Because we had Jessica, a single mom, but she never made it past the pod, so we haven't
Yeah.
ever seen a parent engaged before, have we? No.
Mm-mm. No, just
And it
on
won't be the last time. Little T for the Columbus season for you guys, but there will be more single parents on the way. So
yeah,
I think this will be I think they realized how popular Jessica was and how much the parents watching the show related to her and they saw that that was a good thing to have on the show. It just
yeah,
makes the audience relate more, which
yeah,
always helps them become more of a star because you're relatable, right? People like that. So,
right.
yeah, I think they have a good chance, but we'll see. We'll see what happens after this house
Yeah, I don't know,
issue.
but Jordan was really drunk at that party. He was really drunk, and he was getting on
Yeah.
my nerves, and he was saying some really weird stuff.
Mhm.
Question: there was a little moment where I think Madison came up, and Joe, it was like Madison, Joe, and Jordan, and
Uh-huh.
he was like, "How do you like him?" And he's like, "Oh, he's cool." And he was like, "Well, I don't like you." But it looked
Yeah.
like he was talking to Madison. Was he talking to Madison or was he talking to Joe?
I thought he was talking to Madison. I think he was
Yeah.
just in that drunk phase where you think everything you say is funny, but nothing is funny, and I think that he was just trying to be funny, but it was coming off with, like, an edge, and it was a little weird. But also, the way Matt is I don't know, maybe he doesn't like her, I don't know.
I don't know. It was very weird. He was so drunk, like he was talking about pegging Anton. He's like, I would never F Joe. Like it was just so much. And I'm glad that Megan was like, you're annoying me, you know?
Mhm.
And I feel like her reaction versus Madison's reaction were like very different because Jordan and Joe were to me doing the same exact thing, acting the same exact way.
Yeah.
Uh, so, like, to see her reaction being like, "Hey, you're annoying me," like, kinda like, to him, like, she didn't make a scene, she just kinda was like, "You're annoying me, like, we'll talk about it later," versus Madison, but whatever.
Mhm. Well, before we get to the party, the start of episode 6 was Casey and Patrick's goodbye. So that was awkward. I mean, she was really giving it her all to make it seem even though she said literally to the camera, like, I'm not gonna get there attractive level with him. So we knew the reason. But then when she saw him in person, she was all over him, like legs wrapped around,
She
kissing.
literally said to him, Ashley, "They're trying to make it seem like it's about attraction, it has nothing to do with that, but
Yeah.
we heard you tell us that that's what it was."
Mhm.
What did you think? Did you think that production wasn't gonna show us the conversation that you had with them?
Yeah.
For her to go in there and act like act like she was just, like, longing and could not let him go, and, like, I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, she just doesn't wanna go to Baja, she doesn't wanna continue on with the experiment because it's too much, but then every time he said something like, "It's okay," like, because he was asking her, like, "Are you breaking up with me?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, yes, no, 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 yes, no, I just don't wanna go to Baja, I just can't do this," and then he's like, "Okay,
Uh,
well, like, I'll see you back in Denver," and she's like, "Yeah, no, I don't know if I'm gonna be there," and you're like, "Wait, what are
he's
you
like,
saying
"Can I
right
meet?"
now? Like, do you not wanna go to Baja or do you wanna break up?" And she's like, "Yes, no, no, yes, no."
You're never gonna see me again. So
Literally, this man is never gonna see you again because that's what it's giving. She's like, "Yeah, like, how do I give you my number? Like, I'll find you on Instagram or find me on Instagram." No, no, the whole
she's
time.
so blocking him for sure. She
Well,
blocked
and
him.
she was already blocked at that point. She probably was like, "Production, give my phone. I'm fucking out of here." But my whole thing is like, Ashley, why do all that? Why not just say, you know what? It's just not there for me. Yes, I'm breaking up with you. That he left that conversation thinking like we're just gonna take it slow. She left that
Ye
conversation like I'm never fucking gonna see him.
Yeah. And should we like obviously the whole point of the experiment is it's an experiment, right? It's to see if you can get over that you might not be physically attracted to someone, but you fell in love with them inside and see how that goes, right? So people get so up in arms when they see each other and they just can't do it, right? And so should we be more like forgiving of people that can't physically see it or I don't know. Like, they have to go literally sleep in a hotel room with these people, right? So maybe I think they should at least try though, right? Like when
I
Casey
think
gave
they
up
should
right away.
I think
Yeah.
they should try because now here's my thoughts. I don't think the physical attraction can grow for men. I do think it can grow
No.
for women.
Yeah.
So I think we've seen it on Love is Blind France. Like literally saw Julie say, "I'm not attracted to Charles." Sleep. She
Mhm.
wouldn't even sleep in the same room with him. She wouldn't
Yeah.
kiss him. She would like, you know what I mean? But it grew, and they got
Mhm.
there. And we seen it with Jakob and Carolina on. I don't know if that was that Germany,
Sweden.
Sweden. So I do think it can grow. I do think it could
Yeah.
and the way she was making it seem to Patrick, she was like, "It's not because I don't love you. It's not like, but and she
Mhm.
really was laying it on thick to where I believed like, oh, it's really because the experiment is getting to her and she can't do this. But then every time he's like, okay, we can go to Baja next month. She's like, no. Like, you know what I mean? Like, clearly
Mhm.
it's like you're trying to break up with him, but like you won't tell him that you're breaking up with him. You're still trying to leave it open ended. The
Yeah.
way she's running back, jumping on him, putting her arms around him, he asked to the camera, he was like, "Wait, like, yeah,
What happened?
it's definitely not because of attraction, like, what'd she say to you?"
Mhm.
And then it's like it cuts to that scene where she's literally saying it's because of attraction, like,
Yeah.
that was really crazy to watch, like, I'm like, "Is this bitch really doing this?" Like, as if we're not gonna we can all see it, like, we can all see, what are you doing? Like
I wonder if she talked to her ex too, because I don't think they have their phones back at that point, but obviously the hotel room probably has a phone. She might have called him or something, because yeah, she just seemed so done with it at that point. And I just feel like even if she wasn't attracted to Patrick, like why not just say like just be real and be like, I'm this is hard, like you're not what I pictured, or my mind is having a hard time like matching things. I want to go on the trip like as friends for now, and hang out and just see if it can grow, just be honest like that. Like she just seemed like she wanted to get out of there as fast as she could.
Yeah, and I don't think it had anything. I had that same sentiment, like, you were in communication with this ex, you told him what's going on,
Hmm.
and you're going back to him. That's what's
Yeah.
happening. But to put on that cinematic display was really crazy. Like, you did
Yeah.
not have to do that. Like, "I'll never let
No.
go. I'll never let go, Jack." Like, you did not have to do that. You did not have to do all that. Like, it was really crazy to watch her be like, "It's not because of attraction. It's I just love you so much."
Hmm.
And then her sit down to the camera and be like, "Yeah, it's just not gonna grow. It's not there."
Oh man.
But
Well,
I
we
think she's
finally
gonna get eaten up, though. I think because she was like, "It's not gonna look good. It's not gonna look good. I know how this looks. It's not gonna look good."
Mhm. Yeah. I've seen people online say she's like Mormon coded or something, and I don't know what that means, but they just said that's her behavior. So,
She's very shallow. She's very superficial. Like, she's a very even the whole time in the pods, all she thought she had to offer was looks. All she cared
yeah.
about was looks. All she talked about was looks. So this was definitely the wrong experiment for her. I think again, she was doing it to prove something to her ex, and it backfired. So
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think she would be great on Perfect Match, but I don't know if she
yeah.
she might be with her ex. She might be engaged to her ex by this point, so we'll see. But
Yeah.
we finally got to see Allie and Anton again. They've been disappeared for 5 episodes, but they're back. So
Yeah.
talking about money, I saw it in a comment. I don't obviously it's just a random comment, but someone said he's a Uber driver. Is that true? What's his job?
No, I called him he's the guy that was like transportation and logistics, and I was like, "Oh,
Uh
that's a fancy name for an Uber driver." So
No,
that's
but
what
I literally saw like, I read a comment that someone was like, "My friend dated him and he's an Uber driver." So maybe that person got it from you, but
maybe, but, because people get so mad when you make a little joke because they're like,
yeah.
"Oh, Anton and transportation and logistics is a real job. It has to do with
Oh.
trucking. They actually make good money, da, 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 da." But he might be an Uber driver. I was like, "Transportation and logistics sounds like you are a Lyft driver."
It could be an Uber driver.
Yeah, like, literally, they try and come up with these fancy names. I know that she is a nurse, um,
Yeah.
but I don't know. What remind me what their conversation about
They were talking about the ring, and he said it cost
Mhm.
him 5 grand, which I thought they get
Yeah,
rings for free.
I thought so too.
But maybe if you actually wanna marry them, you, like, upgrade it. I don't know, maybe there's, like, a option for a payment plan, like, if you actually like this person, you can get the better ring. Who knows? But he
Maybe.
said he paid 5 grand, which was weird because
Weird, because
yeah,
I know
I thought they
Edmund
get
didn't
free
pay
ones.
for shit. I know
No.
Edmund did not pay for no damn ring. I'm
And
just
yeah, she said it should be a $10,000 ring, and they had a little not a
yes.
fight, but they were just disagreeing about that. Then we see Joe and Madison in the hot tub, and he's making some comments about her body, which he's obviously getting roasted for.
What did he say? Because I don't recall.
He said, "I usually date thinner women or thin women," which
Oh, like to the
I
camera.
don't. Yeah, so
To
he
the
didn't
camera.
say it to
Right.
Madison,
Okay.
and, it could be editing in the way of, like, I don't think he necessarily was like, "I usually date thinner women than that." Like, I think they were asking him probably, "What's your usual type?" And he was like, "I usually date thin women." So I don't he was definitely because he was laughing and, like, embarrassed. I think he was alluding to the fact that he usually likes thinner than Madison, which she's not a big girl by any means, so weird thing to
The
say.
Yeah, but I think that people get so caught up on like, it's okay for somebody to have a preference. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Well,
if it was if it and he's also tried to say, "That doesn't mean that I'm not attracted to somebody that has a larger physique." And, of
Mhm.
course, the implication there is that Megan has a larger physique, which is
Madison.
Madison. Sorry, there's a lot of ifs.
Yes. Same thing.
Which is really bizarre because she's like what, maybe a size 6, like,
Yeah.
at
Yeah,
best,
she's
like,
not.
I'm a 6, like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, she's not big by any means, but
Mhm.
if you like a thinner, more petite woman, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that being your preference, because I think that if it was a woman who the guy was bigger and her being like, I usually like a more fit build, I don't think that we would have the same response,
Yeah.
but to
Or
me,
the height thing, right? If a man is short and a woman's like, "I usually like a taller man," like, everyone has a physical
everyone has a
preference.
physical preference. But I
Yeah.
don't what did you think in their pool scene? Because they seemed very attracted to each other. They were
Yeah.
kissing, they were all over each other. I didn't get the sense now during the reveal, we talked about the reveal. During the reveal,
Right.
I was like, Joe's full of shit. He don't like her, like he's faking this. He can't even lie to the camera. Like, screw this
Mhm.
guy. But
Mhm.
at the jacuzzi scene, it to me seemed like there was actually an attraction there. We even heard him tell the camera, like, I can't wait until tonight. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I thought they seemed into each other.
Yeah, and she kept telling everyone our sex is really good, right? We had a really good time. So, yeah, I think he was just being honest, and that's what Casey should have done, right? Where he's just saying, I wouldn't normally be like, "Oh, that's my type," or like approach her, or that just isn't usually what my girlfriends look like. But now that we're together, I am attracted to her, and it's all of the things, and
Right.
we're able to have like
But everybody has said that
attraction.
about their partner. Like KB
Yeah,
said that about Edmund. She was like, I would walk right by him. We've seen even Megan say that about Jordan. He's not somebody I would typically go for. So
yeah.
I don't understand why people pick and choose when they get outraged about it,
I think
because
it's the
way he's
wording that he used, the bigger body or whatever, that's the problem. He should have more said it in the way that like how you just said it. I like petite women because she isn't an overweight person, right? So I think it's more she has curves and she's a curvier person, not an overweight or large person. He just didn't use the right words. He should have said, I usually like a flatter chested, petite, small woman, not I can get used to this bigger body. The way he said it just
Yeah,
wasn't
you're right.
right. Yeah.
Because I do think, like, and I do think that he was honest with Megan about how he felt. He told her, "At first, I wasn't at peace with the decision. It was
Mhm.
really hard for me to connect the voice with this and that." You know what I mean? So he's
Mhm.
trying to express his feelings, and I can tell that she's having a hard time taking that in. I can tell that
Mhm.
Megan is insecure about herself, and that's
Yeah.
why now she's constantly seeking validation. I think in that
Mhm.
jacuzzi, she asked him, "Are you sure? Are you do like me? Like like everything's all good?" Like several times, and I think
Mhm.
he's trying his best to reassure her, but I think his words come off
Yeah.
very rude, like they're not he's not saying it right, but that's what's so crazy is that I genuinely think he has a physical attraction to her. Like, I genuinely think that
Yeah.
he likes her, but also then I don't, you know? Like, and then
Mhm.
I think about
Well,
how he acted in the reveal and how he was, like, acting to the camera. I'm like, "You're full of shit."
mhm. Yeah, I don't think sometimes men don't realize how much a little validation does go a long way, right? Especially as women, sometimes you can get, men are like that aren't dating you, like creepy men out there can be very validating, right? It's easy for women to get validation anywhere. So when you don't get it from your partner, you're kind of like, what's going on, right? And so I think even if that's not his natural style, like words of affirmation are not what he likes to do, he can see that that's hers, right? That's what she needs. So if he
Yeah,
just
honestly,
said like,
sometimes men are so fucking stupid. They don't
yes, that's
even
what I mean.
know that like, I
No.
think she genuinely needs to tell him, like, "Hey, my love language is words of affirmation, so
Hmm.
if you kind of see that I'm, like, seeking reassurance and validation, it's because that's my love language." You think that a man, like, is gonna pick up on it because you're constantly asking, "Do
No.
you like me? Do you like me? Do you like me?" So, of course, a woman would pick up on it like, "Oh, okay, he needs reassurance."
Yeah.
Men don't. They're
No.
dumb. They're not gonna pick up on it. You got to literally write it out for them. You got to spell it out for
Well,
them.
someone needs to tell all the men out there because I don't think any woman doesn't like words of affirmation, right? So, all the men out there, all you got to do is throw in a couple of compliments once in a while, and then your girl feels validated and doesn't wonder because women like to wonder. We wonder about everything. So just don't leave them wondering, right? He's leaving it so she's spinning in her head, like, because he's not being validating.
But
So,
I feel like when she's asking, he is being validating.
yeah.
He's telling her, like, "No, yeah," like, he's like, "I'm at peace." He literally said it. "I'm at peace now. It was hard for me at first, but I'm good. Like,
Mhm.
everything's good. I like you. You're hot. Like, I think you're sexy." Like, he is telling her. So that's why I'm like,
Yeah. Well, and I think once they've obviously had sex and that went well, I think you need to stop wondering then, right? Like obviously you can't fake certain things, right? So she should just appreciate that like the physical is there and maybe that's how he shows that he likes her and just accept that, right? Cuz a lot of men aren't great at like constantly affirming. It's annoying to them, right?
yeah,
So,
and I thought that after when I seen them on the boat and I seen them, like, talking about the sex and how it was great, again, she went in and said, "Well, you don't tell me that you love me. Like, I always have to say it first." And he was
mhm.
like, "Oh, well, I was telling you last night." And she's like, "Well, that's
Yeah.
because we were doing it." Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, again, it's just kind of naggy to me and nitpicky
Yeah.
to me. And I think to me, it really seems like whether he's faking it or not, like you said, some things you can't fake. Um,
Mhm.
I think he's trying. I think that it is different for him. It is out of his norm, but I see him try, like, right? Like we just said this about Casey, that
Mhm.
try, see if something changes for you. And I
Yeah.
think that Joe is trying. So it's
Yeah.
like, no, it's like we can't like be like, Casey, you're a bitch for not trying, and then be like, Joe, you're an asshole because you are trying. And it's
Yeah.
coming off like you're not into the girl. To me, it's not coming off that he's not into the girl. Like, to me, it's coming off as like he's genuinely like trying. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, he's doing his best except for at the party. So should we talk about the party because that got a little crazy?
yeah.
Yeah. What?
I'm just like, let's talk about the party because that's what's so crazy is I don't think he did anything wrong at the party, and people are yelling at me in my comments for it. Like, to
I
me,
mean, I was
it
gonna say I wouldn't say he didn't do anything wrong. Like
okay,
obviously getting blackout drunk when you're on camera and this is your new fiance. She's probably never even I don't know how soon this party is, but probably your first night out together, right? Doesn't really speak good about what your future would be, right? If this is a
sure,
person that can't control themselves on a
sure,
situation where you need to be controlled. So
sure,
that, being blackout drunk was his fault for sure. But
true, true.
when you have to leave a party and go sleep, everyone knows that that means that person is done for the night. They're out cold. They're not coherent. You can't have a conversation. You can't go home in 2 hours after that, wake that person up and think you're going to get a reasonable conversation out of them. That's
Right,
crazy. So
right.
I agree with you that like she didn't handle it well once they got to the hotel, but
What
he
did you
shouldn't have
think
put her
about
in that
the
position.
party? What did you think about the party? Because we had a lot going on there. We had
Yeah.
Joe was drunk, Jordan was drunk too. Jordan probably should have left and slept it off with
Yes.
Joe. We had
Yeah, Joe made a good choice by leaving, I thought. Like, that was smart,
yeah,
at least to
that's what
recognize
I thought.
that.
I think he realized he overdid it. I think he
Mhm.
realized he did too much, and then he realized, "I am on camera. I need to get the fuck out of here." So I
Yeah.
don't think that there was anything wrong. Now, did she probably want some, like, time with him and validation from him at the party, and she wasn't getting it because he was blacked out drunk? Yeah, but I felt
Yeah.
like a lot of the couples were actually not, like, at each other's hip. It seemed like the girls were with the girls, the boys were with the boys. We got a little
Mhm.
Allie and Anton action, which, again, I think they're super cute, but
Mhm.
I like so we find out that everybody slept together except for KB and Edmund.
Which sent Edmund in a spiral.
Right, later on that night once he found out, but which is
Yes.
weird because he said he didn't know, but then all of the guys were talking about it too, and he was saying
Yeah.
how he can't get married if he doesn't hit, and again, even the
Mhm.
way that he was referencing it, like, hit, even
Yeah.
though she's like, "We haven't fucked," and he was like, "We haven't hit," I just didn't like how both of them were, like, describing it, but,
Yeah.
yeah, and
I
he, like, went and licked her toes with the sunscreen on them. Like, I don't know, was
he
he trying to, like,
he
get
just
hot and
likes
heavy?
He just likes to eat weird stuff. He has no qualms about eating anything. Boogers, floor, feet, sunscreen, it all goes in his mouth. But I mean, I do agree with him on the sentiment of sleeping together before getting married. And maybe I've just been scarred by Sex in the City because I don't know if you watch that, but the girl got married and the guy couldn't get it up. You're already married. So I feel like you have to test it before
You
you
have
actually say,
to
I
you
do,
have
right? It's too
I get
risky.
it. I get it in this situation. I get
Yeah.
it in this experiment. I think in the
Yeah.
real world, like in the real world, you're dating somebody for a few months, or a year, more than a year before you get married. So I think in this experiment, it's like, I don't want to bone you. And then we get to the altar and everything, and then it's a no. So I
Mhm.
get it in this specific experiment. And honestly, I think KB knows that he's a little off and she don't want that body on record. I'm just saying. You can't delete it.
I
Everybody on Netflix will see.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's easier to call that fake than knowing that they're not sleeping together because yeah, you're not really it's just like on the France one when he didn't introduce her to your child. Like that's not a like, it's easier to get out of it, right? It's like we didn't sleep together, no harm, no foul. So it's hard to believe KB is into him because she won't sleep with him
I
and
think,
he's
yeah,
odd,
I
very
mean,
odd.
he's very odd.
Mhm.
Honestly, that scene watching him freak out over that,
Yes.
she's the one who kind of told him that they were the only
Mhm.
ones. And he seemed triggered by the fact that she said that she had one night stands. And he's like, I'm putting in
Yeah.
so much effort. But the way that he was going in and out of laughing to like almost like he wanted to just like kick his feet and like wail
Yeah.
his arms like a child because he's very childlike, it was really scary to watch him throw that tantrum over not getting no ass. Like, I was like,
Mhm.
"Whoa."
Yeah, it did remind me, like, having 2 kids, I'm like, this is like conversations I have with my kids when they don't get their way, right? Like, it was very mother-son. She was trying to, like, please him and just calm him down so he didn't have a tantrum in the middle of the store, like, that's what it was giving. So, I don't know how you can be attracted to someone that has, like, an adult temper tantrum,
I
but
don't think she's
she's
attracted to
still
him. I don't think
no.
she's attracted to him. I think she's trying to give this like, we've seen so many people drop out. I would imagine that production is on the other side of that, being like, "Please don't drop out. Please just, like, see it through." Because
Mhm.
that tantrum was really wild. It was really scary to see. Like he was like, "Woo," like he was like
Yeah.
literally trying to stop himself from having a full on breakdown because you're not getting no coochie. Like you think this
Yeah.
is gonna make me want to give you some? Like, cause now
Yeah.
you definitely not getting none. And then the whole conversation about being a protector. You can tell that she just wanted him to say, I would protect you. And he's like, I'm gonna call security. I'm gonna
Yeah.
call, like, now, I don't agree with, like, getting physical, like, I would never put my man in a situation where I expect him to get physical, and at first, when I heard the conversation, I thought that, right? Like, I was like, "Well, she
Mhm.
kinda wants him to say, like, Imma whoop his ass or Imma beat his ass," and, like,
Mhm.
he's not really giving that answer, so she's getting irritated, but then you see it like, "I just want you to feel like you protect me," so she's changing the scenario. "Okay, he's not a big guy. Okay, well, now he's your size. Okay, well, he's like, "I don't care if he's in a wheelchair, I'm not gonna put my hands on somebody," which I agree with. I don't think you should ever put your hands on somebody. And
Mhm.
honestly, you're never gonna be in a situation where a man is that blatantly disrespectful. It just does not happen, where a man's gonna grab your arm and be like, "What's up, girl?" while you're with your man. That just doesn't happen. Like,
Uh-huh.
but I think she was looking more for that provider, mentality, which Edmund just doesn't have. He's a child. He just doesn't
Mhm.
have it, and I think she's realizing she's made a really big mistake.
Mhm. I mean, we did see in the preview, I think she's in a wedding dress, but you never know because they do the wedding try-on, so they try to trick us. So we'll
No,
see
he
what
was at
happens
the
with
altar.
them.
He was at the altar.
Oh,
I
yeah.
seen him at the altar. So they're gonna make it to the altar. I mean, no way they're getting married, but they're gonna make it to the altar.
Yeah. I wonder who's gonna say no. Probably her, but we'll see what happens. So,
Her. He gonna be
mhm.
crying. Oh my god, I can't even imagine, like, she got the opposite of everything she said she wanted, a provider, a protector, someone strong, somebody to where she could take the burden off of her. She literally got none of that. So,
Mhm.
I hate that. I hate that for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing was obviously Madison and Joe's aftermath after he went home. So I understand her being concerned and scared when he was so out of it, but I also know she knows exactly why he's out of it. She saw him drink 2 shots, get hammered at this party, and sent him home to sleep, and I just feel like a reasonable person would just go home, go to bed. I'm not gonna wake up this blackout person and have a conversation. I'm gonna wait for the morning, right? That would have been
Right. I
the
understand
smartest
checking
decision.
on him, right? Like, I
Mhm.
understand the initial check, like, "Hey, I'm coming in, I'm checking on you." But I think once she seen that he was discombobulated, like, the minute he was like, "Oh, why are you so dressed up?" Like, it's like, "Oh, you're still drunk, like,
Yeah.
go to bed, leave it there." Right? Like, I don't understand why you're now freaking out. I'm freaking out. You keep asking me the same thing over and over. You don't know why I'm in it. Like, he's drunk. He's
Yeah.
drunk. I've taken a nap and woken up and like panicked, thinking I'm late
Yeah.
for work the next day, and it's still the same night. Like, and I no alcohol involved. So to me, I'm like, once you've seen he was still drunk, leave the man alone. Let him sleep it off. Get him some water.
Mhm.
Maybe get him some bread. Let him sleep it off. But to me, the fact that she made it such a big deal and started crying and started freaking herself out, and it was really bizarre to me.
Yeah, there was no need to get so worked up over the fact that he didn't, he didn't say anything mean, he didn't do anything weird. He didn't know what the hell she was talking about or where he was or what day it was because he was blackout drunk and he went you don't normally just go to bed at night for 2 hours and then get up. Like it was a weird situation. It's not like it had been the whole night. She just went back a few hours later, so I don't know. It was a bit much. I know lots of you probably don't agree with us and you think Joe is fully in the wrong, which I mean, it really is his fault because he got blackout. He put them in that weird position, right? And that
And I
wasn't a good
disagree with
choice.
that. Like, I agree that Joe should not have gotten blacked out drunk, like, you're on your
Yeah.
honeymoon over there, but I don't think he said anything rude to her when he was in that room, besides calling her woman, but that's after she had already, like, kinda, you know he didn't yell at her. He was just
Mhm.
discombobulated and drunk, and he's trying to wake up, and of course, you're asking him, "Are you drunk? Is it because you had too much to drink?" And of course, he's saying no. Like, drunk people always say that they're not drunk,
Yeah,
but to me, I'm like, you
they
can
don't know.
clearly see he's drunk. Why are you why are you trying to have a serious conversation with him at all? Why are
Mhm.
you getting so offended and taking it so personal that he does not know what's going on? He's drunk. You
Yeah,
know?
and
And
I
then he's
think
like talking to himself in the mirror and she's like, "Are you talking to me? Like, what is going on?" Like, it's like, he's drunk, girl. He's drunk off his ass. Just let him sleep it off and talk to him in the morning.
yeah,
And then he said, like, "You're coming in hot." She was coming in hot. "You're
yeah,
coming in hot because you checked on me, but then you made everything about yourself. Then you started crying. Then you started like, 'I'm so freaked out.' Then you started," and it's just like, the man is drunk and just needs to sleep it off. Really didn't need to be all that. You
no,
should have just
that's
been
the
like,
thing,
"Oh, go
right?
back to bed. Go back to bed, sweetie."
Yeah,
Like,
I think she has a right to be upset with him for getting blackout drunk, but that she had to talk about it with him the next day. It
yeah.
just wasn't gonna go anywhere. It didn't need to be all that, and, like, if she had gotten too drunk and had to go be put home to bed and for him to wake her up in the middle of the night with knowing the cameras are there and that's going to he's already been embarrassed enough, and if you actually love this person, you would feel kinda bad, like, "Oh, they got too drunk." We've all been there, right? And
Right,
you'd feel
right.
like, "I don't wanna humiliate this person that I'm in love with on camera. They're
My
obviously too
question to
drunk."
you is, what did you think about the little scene right before he went off? Like, they're still at the pool party, and
Mhm.
she either says, "KB, can you come hang out with me?" or "Baby." We don't know what she
Mm.
said. I think KB thought she said "KB," and he thought she said "Baby," so he's like, "Oh, yeah, come on, like, let's go." And then, again, he's drunk, so he's like, "Well, where do you wanna go?" She's like, "Where do you wanna go? You tell me." Like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
just so hostile with him. Like, I get it, you're probably annoyed that he's drunk,
Yeah.
but, like, you're expecting him to make these logical decisions when you can clearly
Yeah.
see he's, like, on his ass, And then she's like, he's like, Do you want me to go back with you?" And again, he's like, "No," like, and again, I took it from a perspective of like, "No, like, enjoy yourself, like, don't ruin your fun because I'm fucking drunk and need to go lay
Yeah.
down," you know?
Mhm.
And she's like, "No, you don't want me?" Like, "No," like, just offended by everything. Like, "No, you don't
Mhm.
want me to go?" Like, I mean, I'm here for you. Like, I have fun with you. Like, I have a good time with you. And I'm like,
Mhm.
just
Yeah, I
say
think
say, like, kind of like how Megan was like, "I'm annoyed with you. Like, you're getting on my nerves because you're
yes.
drunk and you're being stupid and you're not making good decisions. Like, I'm annoyed." As opposed to, like, really expecting this man to, like, snap out of his drunkenness and be like
Mhm.
exactly like you said, next day, be like, "Okay, you got really trashed and that was annoying." But,
Mhm.
like, I don't know. What did you think of that scene before
Yeah,
they
well, I think Megan handled it way better and that Madison should have handled it the same. Like, she has a right to be annoyed. She has a right to say, "I'm pissed that you're drunk. Like, this is annoying and you're
Yeah,
embarrassing me."
yeah,
That's totally valid. You can definitely say, "Joe, I'm annoyed with you. Like, go home." Or, "I don't want to talk to you. I'm annoyed with you." That is all valid. But yeah, it was her trying to have these conversations that you can already see Joe struggling to have these conversations with her when he's sober about her like what do you mean? You think this? You think that? Like what are you saying? And like she's doing that when he's hammered and like you're not going to
sitting at
get
the
what you're trying to
bar.
get. So just let it go. Yeah.
Yeah,
She
sitting at the bar like, "Well, I think everything's going good. What do you think?" And he's like, he don't even know
yeah.
what the fuck he don't even know his own name at this moment,
Yeah.
like, you know?
And I'm sure we're gonna see Megan, have a chat with Jordan the next day, and that's when you're going to get the response you want, and they're gonna actually understand how they embarrass themselves and you, and that behavior wasn't acceptable. You're not gonna have that conversation in the middle of the blackout. It's just not
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Yeah, I just
So,
thought it was really annoying. I thought she was really victimizing herself in that moment. I found her to be quite annoying in that moment, and before that, my thoughts on them were like, he's sucks, you know, and I do think there's an element of him sucking, but I do think that he's trying. And but I in
mhm,
that scene, I'm like, this is just really crazy to me because it's so obvious that he's drunk, but you're again still trying to have this serious moment that's just like leave the man alone, let him be drunk and let him sleep it
yeah.
off. Like,
And this is why I mean, and, she had had drinks too, right? And she didn't seem drunk the way he was, but, she was probably maybe if she was drinking, she's not thinking rationally either, and that's why she's trying to have these conversations with him. That's why alcohol and couples don't mix and people get drunk and fight with their
we've seen
person.
it with Chelsea and Jimmy, remember? And
Yeah,
we got in Chelsea's ass because she was drunk and slurring and all over the place and mad about the mixer and what he was doing. So it's
mhm,
like, we can't
yeah,
like, I know people don't like when you call out a woman for her shit, but I'm sorry, but in this situation, Madison needs to be called out on like, like you said, be mad that he's drunk, but like you're
yeah,
trying to have a logical conversation with a drunk person and then trying to victimize yourself and make it seem like he's doing something that he's not doing. He's just drunk and needs to
uh-huh.
sleep. And then Casey's ass, girl, I don't know what the fuck that was, but like it wasn't right.
Well, and the fact that Joe was so blackout, so out of it, right? Like it is a little I mean, clearly from what we saw at least, he's not an angry drunk and he was annoyed with her a little bit, but he wasn't like having any kind of like rage or drunk or, he handled it well for a blackout drunk person. But what if he was like a raging blackout drunk person and they have you in this hotel room sleeping with this person all night that you don't know, like you've never seen them blackout drunk before. So
Yeah.
it is a little risky that they let them drink that much, and a lot of reality shows, they don't for this reason, right? You're putting them back in a room, locked up together, no cameras, I'm assuming, once they go to bed. It's a little risky. So maybe like an alcohol limit might be better, but less messy. I guess they want the mess. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and, like, I
well,
mean, we've seen it in the lawsuit, right, with Steven that he's trying to claim that they force you to drink, and Marissa said, "You can consume as much alcohol as you want." So, Jordan and Joe made a choice to get drunk,
yeah.
and again, you're in Mexico. Is it the worst thing, like, that your fiance is drunk? I don't think so. I'm like, "You guys are in Mexico. You're with all your new friends from the pods that you met. You guys are meeting up for the first time. You guys wanna have a good time. You guys took it a little too far." Does that mean Like,
I
do
feel
you
like
justify him for getting too drunk and having to sleep it off? Like you said, it was a responsible thing for him to do to go sleep.
mhm.
Jordan should have
And
done
I
the
feel like if one of the women, which I don't think these girls would do that, but say if Madison got too drunk and Joe sent her off to bed and she went to sleep, then he came in the room and did that, like wake her up and be like, this question, and like kind of like, I think we would be like, what the hell is wrong with him? Like, let her sleep. She's drunk. So it's the
Yeah,
same thing, right? But
yeah.
again, I think they were both drunk to a point. She was certainly nowhere near his drunkenness, but she wasn't really being rational either because a rational
Oh,
person
okay, so
wouldn't.
you think her response came from her being drunk. I didn't even think about it
Yeah,
from that aspect. Yeah, like, she was
a
drunk
little drunk,
and
not
she
his level, but
yeah, she was maybe
not
a little tipsy
thinking
too, so she's like,
rationally.
"Talk to me," like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
I get that when you're
just a
drunk, you're triggered by everything, so then now you get mad
and
because you
crying
can't
over
comprehend that
everything.
he drunk, like, okay, that makes
Yeah, there was no rational anything going on in that hotel room, right? And that's the hard part is the camera person is just sitting there watching it, right? Like someone needed to step in and be like, both of you go to bed and have some water and stop talking. You're
yes,
just
so, like,
making it work.
but it makes good TV, so they're not gonna tell them to stop talking.
Yeah. Well, quite an episode. Looking forward to the next drop, which is in a few, or no, it's only been 2 days since the last drop. So we still got a little wait, but while we wait, the tea always comes piping. So we'll keep you guys
Yeah,
posted. Any other thoughts of these two episodes?
good
Nothing.
TV.
The cast is giving, even if they're all a bunch of actors or who knows where they came from or what they're doing, but we're enjoying their
Mess.
wild, crazy behavior. So thank you for giving us something good to watch, and we'll be back with more next time. Thanks for listening, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.